Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacconiana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we are going to look at an interesting old lighter that really has more questions than I have answers for. This is a flip-top petrol lighter. It's also a closed tank lighter. Interesting design. It is marked on the fuel screw, which may be a little bit hard to read because of the missing plating on a portion of it. But it looks to me as though it says on that portion, D and Company, with the company being abbreviated CO, and then the number 801 being stamped on the lower portion of that screw. There is a 4-barrel hinge, and the pin has a tendency to creep out the side of it. There is a cam spring system here, which is somewhat clunky and could definitely use some oil. Maybe that pin that is holding that cam is also bent or damaged in one way or another. You can see the cam stop in the lid, similar to a Zippo. The windscreen area on this lighter is very small, extremely small. I believe that is still the original wick that was in it when I got it. You can see there's 5 holes on each side of the windscreen. The back is open, and there is a file wheel which is pretty rusty looking and does produce what appears to be a decent spark. From the top it looks like a slipcase or like a insert type lighter, like you might be able to pull that out just like a Zippo, but everything appears to be fixed into place, and that is just its appearance. That doesn't actually come out of there. So however it is fixed in there, or maybe machined, I don't know what the difference is. The machining on the windscreen is pretty rough. Looks like it could have been unfinished, still a work in progress. The wick is pretty ragged looking, so I'm not certain that wick is substantial enough to carry a flame consistently, but we're going to find out. I've seen questions about similar lighters. At least, as far as I can remember, 2 other flip-top lighters, but I believe the numbers were different. One of those was from our friend Bill Calkins, and at the time I could not locate this lighter to take pictures and post in response. I believe that Zippo Rob Johnson has also posted pictures of a similar lighter. And then it seems like here in the last 6 months at some point, a third person posted a picture of a D and Company marked lighter, and both of those fellas had responded. But I don't know if anybody ever got down to the bottom of exactly who D and Company was or is. Probably not in business any longer. But I am curious, not so much about exactly who manufactured or marketed this lighter so much as how well the lighter will work. There you see the fuel screw, which is pretty substantial, but no gasket. If I was guessing, I would say I think that it'll hold probably at least 4 or 5 drops. maybe more. There's 3, and it's not pulling up there in the neck yet. So there's 5. There's 6. See if that wick doesn't feel wet yet. So let's drop 1 more. I think that would be number 6. Replace our fuel screw. Does have a slot in the screw as well as being nicely knurled. Got some vapor lock, so it appears as though we have enough fuel. And whether or not you would want to smoke off that wick may be another question, but it does look like it is maintaining a flame well enough. So, appears to me that this is a chrome-plated brass lighter. Or at least the inside of the lid looked like brass. Yeah, I believe that is chrome-plated brass, which then would make me wonder what material. Could be Zamac. Seems heavier than aluminum, but I don't think that is the same material that this windscreen is made out of. So I would be interested to know what metal this is made out of and how it is fastened into the body of the lighter. Interesting. I'm also interested to know if anybody else has a similar lighter, specially marked D & Company. Does yours have a number stamped into the fuel screw? If Zippo Rob Johnson or Bill Calkins are watching, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you could refresh my memory about exactly what style of lighters those were that you guys had that were marked similarly. And if you figured out anything about the manufacturer or designs or patents or any of that kind of stuff. There you can see from, I believe it was sliding out the other direction earlier, but from operating this lighter open and closed, that pin has crept out the right side now. A little bit clunky design. Definitely a small windscreen, but seems to like, even with that raggedy old wick. So interesting to light up an old lighter like this and just see how well it will function. Until next time.